The Guardian Protocol. Captain Zirax stood motionless on the bridge of the Asteria, all four of his eyes locked on the view screen. The patrol ship had been monitoring the edges of the Forbidden Zone for 3 standard cycles without incident, until now. Before them floated what appeared to be an ancient vessel, its hull marked with strange symbols and pitted with what looked like battle scars. Sensors report. Zirax's voice rumbled through his chest cavity, a sign of tension his crew recognized immediately. First Officer Tella, a slender Vexian with skin that shifted colors with her emotions, currently displaying a concerned purple, tapped rapidly on her console. "Sir, the vessel appears to be of human design, but that's impossible. The vessel registers as over 700 years old." A ripple of discomfort passed through the bridge crew. Humans were little more than legends now, a species that had briefly flared into galactic prominence before disappearing during the Great Collapse. Most believed they had gone extinct when their homeworld was destroyed in the final days of the Collapse Wars. "Any life signs?" Zirax asked, leaning forward. "None that our sensors can detect," Tella responded. "But there's something unusual. The ship appears to be emitting a very faint energy signature, nothing like standard propulsion or life support." Science Officer Nex, a bulky Krovan with crystalline growths protruding from his exoskeleton, moved to another console. "Captain, requesting permission to send a probe. That signature doesn't match anything in our database." Zirax nodded once. "Proceed with caution and alert security to prepare a boarding party. I want to know what that ship is doing here and how it survived so long." Within minutes, a small probe detached from the Asteria, propelling itself toward the mysterious vessel. As it approached, the bridge crew watched with growing fascination. The human ship was unlike the sleek, optimized designs of modern vessels. It was bulky, almost crude by comparison, with obvious weapon emplacements and what appeared to be heavily armored sections. "Probe is approaching the hull," Nex reported, beginning surface scans and... The view screen flashed white, momentarily blinding everyone on the bridge. When their vision cleared, the probe was gone. "What happened?" demanded Zirax. "Unknown, sir," Tella replied, her skin now a startled white. One moment the probe was there, the next, nothing. No explosion, no debris. "It's as if it simply ceased to exist," Nex added, his crystalline features catching the light as he turned toward the captain. Zirax's secondary eyes narrowed. "Shields up. Prepare defensive systems." Before anyone could respond, every console on the bridge flickered, went dark, then reactivated with different displays, all showing the same symbol, a stylized Earth eagle clutching what appeared to be lightning bolts. A voice, mechanical yet somehow organic, echoed through the bridge. "Scanning vessel. Species identified. Alteran, Vexian, Krovan, Zinthi. No humans detected. Purpose of approach." The crew froze. The voice was speaking Galactic Standard, but with an accent none of them had ever heard before. "This is Captain Zirax of the Galactic Patrol Vessel Asteria," Zirax responded, signaling his security officer to lock down communications. "We are conducting routine patrol operations. Identify yourself and state your purpose in restricted space." There was a pause, followed by, "I am Guardian Protocol Alpha 7. This sector is under human protection. Your presence has been logged." Zirax and Tella exchanged glances. Human protection. The humans had been gone for centuries. "There has been a misunderstanding," Zirax replied carefully. "Human space was dissolved following the Great Collapse. This sector falls under Galactic Council jurisdiction." The response was immediate. "Incorrect. Human directives remain in effect. Approach authorized for verification purposes only." Nex's sensors suddenly lit up. "Captain, the ship is powering up. Energy readings climbing rapidly. But it's not weapons. It's reconfiguring somehow." On the view screen, the ancient vessel began to transform. Sections of hull plating shifted, revealing intricate mechanisms beneath. What had appeared to be battle damage sealed itself, and dormant systems flickered to life across the ship's surface. "By the void," whispered Taylor. "It's repairing itself." "Sir," called the tactical officer, a stocky Xanthi named Kraz, "I'm detecting energy signatures consistent with quantum displacement technology, but far more advanced than anything in our records." Xerax's decision was immediate. "Security team, prepare for boarding. I want answers, not scans. Tella, you're with me. Next, continue monitoring from here." Within 30 minutes, Xerax led a team of 6 across the void between the vessels. The human ship had opened what appeared to be a docking bay, the interior dimly lit by emergency lighting that had somehow survived centuries of dormancy. As they entered, their suit sensors registered breathable atmosphere and standard gravity. Impossible for a ship that should have lost all power generations ago. "Spread out. Standard search pattern," Xerax ordered, his hand resting on his sidearm. "Remember, we're here to gather information, not start an incident." The interior of the ship was unlike anything they had seen before. While most modern vessels prioritized efficiency and minimalism, this ship was built like a fortress. Every corridor had multiple redundant systems, every junction designed as a potential defensive position. "Sir," called one of the security officers, "you need to see this." They gathered around what appeared to be a central computer terminal. When Tella attempted to access it, the screen lit up with technical specifications that made little sense, references to technologies that had never been documented in galactic records. "This ship," Tella murmured, "it's not just a vessel. If I'm reading this correctly, it's a seed ship." "A what?" asked Xerax. "A technological repository," she explained, her skin shifting to an excited blue. The humans didn't just build warships, they created vessels designed to preserve their knowledge and regenerate their fleet. Before Xerax could respond, the lights in the corridor brightened, and the same voice from earlier spoke. "Correct assessment. Primary function. Preservation of human tactical advantage and species continuation protocols." "Where are you?" Xerax demanded, looking around. "Show yourself." "Follow illuminated pathway to core chambers for verification." Strips of light appeared along the floor, leading deeper into the ship. With caution, the team followed, passing through increasingly complex security measures that opened automatically before them. Finally, they'd reached what appeared to be the heart of the vessel, a massive chamber dominated by a suspended crystalline structure pulsing with red-gold light. Within the crystal was something that made every member of the boarding party step back in shock. Floating in some kind of preservation fluid was what appeared to be a human heart, but modified with technological components that extended throughout the crystal matrix and into the ship itself. "What is this?" Tella whispered, her skin now pale with shock. The voice responded, seeming to come from the crystal itself. "I am Guardian Protocol Alpha 7. Human designation. Commander Sarah Chen volunteered for integration following critical injuries during the last stand of Earth. You're alive." Xerax could barely form the question. "Partially organic, primarily synthetic. I maintain consciousness to uphold the Guardian Protocol." Nex's voice came through their communicators. "Captain, you need to return immediately. We're detecting massive energy fluctuations throughout the sector. Something's happening." As if in response, the crystal pulsed brighter, and the entire chamber hummed with power. Screens around them activated, showing star charts and tactical displays. "Warning," said the voice, now taking on a more human quality. "Vanguard detection systems activated. They have found us." "Who has found us?" demanded Xerax. The answer came as the ship shuddered, systems powering up to levels that shouldn't have been possible for such an ancient vessel. "The reason humanity sacrificed everything," replied the voice. "The Void Eaters have returned. Guardian Fleet activation sequence commencing." Throughout the Forbidden Zone, space itself began to ripple as hundreds of similar vessels began to emerge from what appeared to be dimensional pockets, a hidden fleet that had waited centuries for this moment. On the Asteria's bridge, Nex watched in horror as sensors detected massive objects materializing throughout the sector. And beyond them, at the edge of their scanning range, something far worse approaching. The awakening fleet. The Asteria shuddered as nearby space distorted with the emergence of more vessels. What had been empty void now teemed with ships of human design, each one ancient by galactic standards, yet pulsing with power that defied explanation. Get them back here now, Nex ordered, his crystalline protrusions glowing with stress. Unknown vessels approaching from the outer rim. Massive energy signatures unlike anything we've encountered. Aboard the human vessel, now identifying itself as the HSS Defiance, Captain Zirax watched as the crystalline heart chamber transformed. The liquid surrounding the modified human heart churned, and the technological components extending from it pulsed with increasing intensity. "You must return to your ship," the voice of Commander Chen stated, now sounding almost completely human. "The Guardian fleet is awakening. This space will soon become a staging area." "We're not leaving without answers," Zirax insisted. "What are these Void Eaters? Why has this fleet remained hidden for centuries?" The crystal pulsed, and a holographic image appeared before them, a humanoid figure in what appeared to be an ancient military uniform. Though translucent, the figure moved with lifelike precision. Was Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force," the hologram explained. "What remains of my consciousness was integrated into this vessel to maintain the Guardian Protocol after my body was critically damaged during the final battle for Earth." Images appeared around them, the blue-green world burning, massive shadow-like entities descending from space, humans fighting with desperate courage against an enemy that seemed to consume light itself. "The beings you know as the Void Eaters are ancient entities that exist partially outside normal space-time," Chen continued. "They do not invade, they consume. Planets, stars, entire systems reduced to energy they can absorb. They are what caused the great collapse your histories reference, though your records have lost the truth." "Impossible," whispered Taylor. "The collapse was a series of natural disasters, stellar instabilities, wormhole collapses, all symptoms of their feeding," Chen corrected. "Humanity discovered them first, fought them first, and realized conventional weapons were useless. So we made a choice." More images appeared. Humans volunteering for integration procedures, fleets of ships being hidden in dimensional pockets, a final desperate stand around Earth. "We sacrificed our homeworld as a trap," Chen explained, her holographic face showing ancient grief. "Concentrated enough quantum energy to make it irresistible to them, then detonated experimental weapons that would scatter their consciousness across dimensions. It worked, but not permanently. We knew they would eventually return. The Guardian fleet was our contingency plan." Zirax's communicator buzzed urgently. "Captain," came Nex's voice, "the unknown signatures are accelerating toward our position. Based on their energy patterns, they're consuming everything in their path. 3 outpost stations have gone dark already." Chen's hologram turned toward an empty section of the chamber. "Display tactical." A 3-dimensional map of the sector materialized, showing hundreds of human vessels now in formation, and beyond them, a spreading darkness that seemed to devour light itself. "Your galactic civilization has 3 days before first contact with their vanguard," Chen stated matter-of-factly. "Without preparation, you will fall within a standard week. The Guardian fleet can provide tactical support and technology, but we need allies." Zirax stared at the tactical display, watching as the darkness spread. His training hadn't prepared him for this level of threat. "The Council will never believe this without proof." "Then we will provide proof," Chen replied. The ship trembled as dormant systems fully activated. "Return to your vessel, Captain. We must make contact with your leadership immediately." Back aboard the Asteria, the bridge crew watched in awe as the ancient human ships moved with impossible precision, forming a defensive perimeter around the sector. The HSS Defiance had escorted them clear of the formation zone before taking position at the fleet's center. All ships are now fully operational, Nex reported. Their technology, sir, they're using principles we've barely theorized. Quantum entanglement drives, phase shift shielding, gravity manipulation on a scale that should be impossible. Zirax settled into his command chair, mind racing with implications. Open a channel to Council Command. Priority Alpha. Tell them humanity has returned, and they've brought a warning. The communication officer worked frantically. Sir, I can't reach command. All long-range communications are being disrupted by whatever's approaching. The Void Eaters consume energy in all forms. Chen's voice came through their speakers, including communication signals. We must rely on quantum entanglement communication. Before their eyes, a small device materialized on the bridge, sleek, clearly of human design. This will allow secure communication, regardless of distance or interference, Chen explained. A gift of trust. Zirax approached the device cautiously. Why now? Why reveal yourselves after centuries of hiding? Because the choice is no longer ours, came the solemn reply. The Void Eaters have evolved, adapted. They've learned to track the dimensional energies we used to hide. Our awakening was triggered by their approach. We had hoped for more time to prepare. As they watched, the tactical display showed the first wave of darkness reaching the outermost ships of the human fleet. What happened next defied explanation. The human vessels didn't fire conventional weapons, but instead released pulses of energy that seemed to fold space itself around the encroaching shadows. Phase displacement, Chen explained, forcing portions of their consciousness into pocket dimensions where they can be contained. It won't stop them, but it slows their advance. Tella, who had returned with Zirax, studied the readings. These tactics, this technology, it could change everything. Not just against these Void Eaters, but for all galactic civilization. That was always the plan, Chen replied. Humanity knew we might not survive as a species, but our legacy, our knowledge, our determination could. Every ship in the Guardian fleet carries the sum of human technological achievement, ready to be shared when the time came. Zirax made his decision. Officer Kraz, set course for Council headquarters. Maximum speed. Tella, prepare all data we've gathered for presentation. Next, work with the human technology. I want everything we can learn about these Void Eaters. As the Asteria prepared to depart, Chen's voice addressed them one final time. Captain Zirax, what your ancestors witnessed as the fall of humanity was actually our transformation. We became something beyond flesh, a safeguard, a memory, a promise. Now that promise must be fulfilled. The HSS Defiance moved alongside them as they departed, its ancient hull now gleaming with renewed purpose, the eagle insignia glowing with internal light. The Guardian Protocol was never just about preservation, Chen explained. It was about ensuring that when darkness returned to consume the stars, life would stand united against it. Humanity may be gone, but our determination lives on in the Guardian fleet, and now in you. As they accelerated toward Council space, Zirax watched the tactical display showing hundreds of human vessels engaging the advancing darkness, buying time with technology centuries beyond current understanding. Send this message throughout all Council territories, he ordered. Humanity never fell. They sacrificed everything to become our guardians against a threat they knew would return. And now we must honor that sacrifice by standing with them. Behind them, space itself seemed to warp as the full might of the Guardian fleet unleashed technologies lost to time. Humanity's final gift to a galaxy that had thought them long extinct. What had begun as a routine patrol had revealed the greatest secret in galactic history. Humanity's transformation from a species to a legacy, waiting silently through the centuries for the moment when they would be needed most. The war for survival had begun again, but this time, the galaxy would face it united, with humanity's indomitable spirit leading the way.